Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanie Pellet, and I am a creative coach and consultant for small business owners and entrepreneurs here in Toronto. And this is Ask Steph. This is my video show where I answer all of your business questions on everything from limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome to business systems and strategies and everything in between. You may have noticed that I'm in a brand new space. That's right, I moved apartments, and I'm really excited to continue bringing you more YouTube videos that cover all of your business questions, no matter what they might be. As always, if you have a question for the show, you can feel free to ask over at stephaniepellet.com/ask, and I'll definitely address it in an upcoming video. So let's get into today's question. Hi Steph, I have a question for you. How are you so fast at everything? It seems like you have so many great systems set up in your business for design, organization, and getting things done. How do you make it all look so easy? I would love to know your secrets so that I can get more efficient in my business as well, particularly when it comes to the annoying tasks that I don't want to do. How can I make things work a little more smoothly? Thanks for your help, aiming for efficiency. Well, first of all, I'm very flattered. Thank you so much for the generosity of this question and your assumption that everything in my business is smooth and fast and efficient. I can assure you that that is not the case all of the time. As much as I try to speed up the pieces of my business that can be sped up, there are certain elements of business and life that just can't be made more efficient no matter how much we try. I'm thinking about creative projects, things that take a longer time to marinate and percolate, and we can't make those more efficient even if we really try our hardest. So a lot of what I do in my business is speed up the things that can be made more efficient so that I have more space and grace for the projects that can't. And since you've asked, I would love to share some of my tips for how you can do this in your business as well. A little caveat here that I am not telling you to speed up your work at all costs. I believe that productivity always needs to have a purpose, a really good reason why we're trying to be productive. In my case, it's because I actually want to free up as much space as possible for the rest of my life outside of my business, and or to take on more exciting business projects that I wouldn't otherwise be able to do if I was bogged down in unnecessary details. So take all of this with a grain of salt. I am not telling you to become a productivity machine. I'm only telling you to find a reason why your productivity makes sense for you and how it could clear the way for more goodness in the rest of your life. Number one, never start from scratch. Now, I don't care what kind of creative work you're doing in your business or the types of administrative tasks you need to complete, but I'm going to tell you right now that chances are there is a great template out there that will help you to not start from ground zero when you're building something new. Whether this is duplicating past work that you've already created or finding a starting place that someone else has created, this is a huge game changer when it comes to getting things done more quickly and more efficiently. For example, if you need to write a cover letter and you don't know where to start with that, you could Google cover letter examples and suddenly you will have thousands of options available to you as a starting place to start to work with the language and the types of structures that those templates entail. The same is true for anything visual. If you want to create a beautiful presentation slide deck, Canva has thousands of amazing templates for you to choose from. The same is true of a service such as Creative Market, where you can purchase templates for anything from ebooks and magazines to social media posts and everything in between. And of course, we all know that this is true when it comes to website design. All of the major website builders these days come with themes or pre-designed beautiful templates that you can use as a starting place and then just add your own spin to them. This step seems like cheating because it's so fun and easy to work with, but I promise you that it actually is a really fun and easy way to get things done and get them done more quickly. If you can find a place to start, use it and don't feel any guilt or shame about doing so, as long as you're properly compensating the creator of whatever template that you're using. I promise you that if you start using templates as your starting place, you are going to get so much more done in less time as a result. Number two, be a little bit boring. Now, I say this one with a bit of a twinkle in my eye because I don't actually think that if you implement this guideline, your business will become boring. I do, however, think that your business might become a lot more efficient as a result of implementing this. So when I say be boring, what I mean is don't try to change it up too much when it comes to the visual representation of your brand or the systems you use to support your business. Both of these things can be foundational elements, and once you've decided on them, it can save you oodles of time in the future by not constantly trying to find a new way to reinvent them. So when it comes to visuals, make sure that you're constantly using the same brand fonts and colors, no matter what new assets you might be creating. I do this a lot on my sales page. I am totally bored by them at this point because they all use the same colors, the same type of photography, and the same fonts. But you know what? This saves me a lot of time. And actually, instead of feeling boring to my customer or my audience member, in fact, what they're going to see is a professional representation of a very standardized brand. That kind of consistency is actually quite reassuring to the people who might be following you. So even though you might be bored by it, they certainly will not be. I also use this quite a lot when it comes to the systems in my business. I fight really hard against my shiny object syndrome of constantly wanting to try a new system that I think will solve all of my problems in my business. Instead, I hold on tight to the systems that I have thoroughly researched and use consistently. And I see that for any new project, I try to find out if there is a way for me to use the systems that I already have to make it happen. For example, I have a customer relationship management software called Dubsado, and anytime I'm creating a new offering or a ticketed event, I try to see if there's a way for me to use that software to make this event happen. This is particularly true if you're paying for a service, but I also think it's psychologically true. If you have already invested in one system's ecosystem, don't burn a lot of energy and time by wondering if you should switch to something else. Stick with what you have until you absolutely cannot stick with it anymore. If you do finally outgrow it, make that decision from a place of proactivity, but don't waste all your time in the in-between wondering whether you made the right choice. Stick with the things that you've chosen in your business and watch yourself get a lot faster as you go forward. Number 3, duplicate everything. Now, I know this one is a little bit similar to number 1, but in this case, I'm talking about the physical duplicate button that exists on almost every online software service. If you have the option to duplicate a project or part of a project, please take it. I cannot tell you how much time I have saved myself by making this a really standard part of my workflows. When it comes to my website, anytime I'm creating a new sales page or landing page, I literally just duplicate a previous version of a page that I have already designed and I think will look similar to what I'm aiming to create this time. The same is true for my email marketing. I only designed my email newsletter one time. Every time after that, I have just duplicated previous versions. And in Dubsado, which I previously mentioned, I can duplicate anything from a questionnaire to a new checkout form on a sales page. Anything is able to be duplicated, and that saves me so much time. I don't have to rewrite a new email. I can just copy that canned response and use it for this new project. This saves me a tremendous amount of time. It's basically like creating my own templates for future work. And not only does this save me time, it also helps keep my quality control really standard in my business. Because instead of trying to create something new and matching what I previously had, I'm able to literally duplicate it. So anything that I was happy with before, especially when it comes to spacing or wording, I can just duplicate that into a new version and I can be assured that they will look and feel exactly the same. So not only will this save you time, it will also save you some mental energy because you'll know that everything is consistent across all elements of your brand. Number 4, let the robots do the work. I can tell you that one of my biggest pet peeves in business is when I see humans doing work that robots could do. There are so many elements and aspects of our businesses that could be outsourced to existing technologies that are not that hard or that expensive to implement. Obviously, not everything in our businesses would fall under this category. There are certain elements that are really important for us to have that human touch as we execute on them. But for a lot of other things, we are wasting a lot of time that we don't need to be wasting on manually doing something that a technology could do in your stead. For example, your invoicing. You might be sending the same invoices every single month or manually creating the invoices in some kind of clunky program. I promise you there is some kind of CRM that could do it for you, especially if your invoices are recurring. Those can easily be automated. The same is true for other elements of your business, for example, scheduling. I see a lot of people wasting time on email back and forths, trying to find a great time to meet with an existing client. Instead, you could just send that client a scheduler and they could choose the time that's going to work for them. I can't tell you what these elements are going to be in your business because, of course, your business is unique to you. But if you're thinking of something right now that you think a robot could probably do in your stead, I encourage you to make a plan to make it happen. I know that these kinds of projects can involve some setup costs and some investment of time and energy in learning how to make it work, but that investment is almost always worth it in the long run. It will pay off in huge amounts of time and energy for you moving forward if you're able to implement them now. So if you can think of something right now, stop what you're doing, stop this video, and go make it happen. I promise you, it will be worth it in the end. Never do work that a robot could do for you. Number 5, syndicate yourself. So when I say syndicate yourself, what I mean is make sure that you're repurposing your content across multiple platforms. Don't think you always need to be reinventing the wheel when it comes to finding new things to talk about. Instead, you can talk on the same kinds of topics and themes in multiple different ways for an extended period of time. Usually we put something out there, talk about it once or twice, and then move on to something new before most of our audience has even seen it or had a chance to interact with it, engage with it, or process it. So if you're creating something like a YouTube video, like the one you're watching right now, make sure that you're also turning that into a blog post, into a newsletter, into an Instagram post or 2 or 3, and of course into Instagram stories. This same thing would be true no matter what platforms you might be on. That's just an example of what I'm going to do with this YouTube video. Whenever you can, try to syndicate your work and put it across multiple streams. Don't feel that you always have to be coming up with something new to talk about when you already have quality work that you could repurpose. The same is true for older work. If you talked about something several months ago, feel free to bring it on back. Chances are that not everyone in your audience already saw it, and that can save you a lot of time and energy by revisiting topics that are already near and dear to your heart. Avoid the temptation to constantly be starting from scratch or reinventing the wheel, and talk about things that already feel comfortable and natural for you to talk about. This will save you a lot of time and will start to establish you as an expert in specific areas of your field. Again, another win-win. So there you have it, 5 simple strategies for saving yourself time and energy in your business. Which of these options are you excited to try in your own business? Or are there tips that I have not mentioned here that you already use to save yourself time and energy? In either case, I would love to hear from you, so drop your answers in the comments below. And of course, if you have a question for the show, you can always ask it over at stephaniepellet.com/ask, and I would love to answer it in an upcoming episode. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.